Robert Rotenberg has been a criminal lawyer for 30 years. He's also an author, and his latest book, Downfall, tackles a serial killer who is targeting Toronto's homeless population. Robert joins us this morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Anne-Marie. Great to see you.
Uh, Great to see you too. And just before we get started, congratulations. I just learned that your book, Downfall, is now #1 on Amazon Canada for mystery novels. So, congratulations.
Yeah, for Canadian mystery novels. Plus, we're selling a ton at small bookstores. I encourage people to go to their local bookstores. It's really fun.
Absolutely. Great to support them as well. This, in fact, is your sixth book. And you bring a really unique perspective because you come at it both as a criminal lawyer, but also as an author. And this book in particular targets a serial killer who is preying on females in Toronto's homeless population. Where did the inspiration for this story come from?
You know, Anne-Marie, I always try in my books to talk about what's really going on in Toronto. I wrote a book called Stray Bullets about gunplay in the city. I wrote one called Heart of the City about the condo craze. And this one I want to talk about really the huge division now between rich and poor in the city and the homeless crisis that's come out of it. And people are always talking about the homeless, but they don't seem to really focus on homeless women. About 37% of the homeless people in the city are women. And so this was my way of really showing what's going on in the city.
Yeah, and I love that you weave in all the facts into your books about what is actually going on. That the fact that homeless people that you see on the street are the minority. There's actually at any given night 10,000 people who are not housed, living in the streets of Toronto.
When I was researching the book, I was shocked at that number, and I was shocked to hear that the life expectancy of homeless people is 50%. 50% of the age expectancy of other Canadians. It's terrifying. And I think that's
one of
the
the
purpose
aspects
of
of this.
books is, sorry, yeah.
No, continue.
That's why I write the books. They're entertainment, but they're also serious. And I'm not an advocate. I'm just trying to show what's really going on. And being a criminal lawyer gives me a really unique perspective. I mean, I've had a number of clients who are homeless people, some of whom I know, some of whom I've supported. And I see the life they lead. And I also see the problems. It's not, I'm not saying there's any heroes here, and I'm not saying the problem is easy to solve, but we can't look away.
One of the aspects I'm going to pick up on what you said about support that you delve into in this book is the idea of the friends and the family who are around and in the circle of someone who is homeless. And you do that through the character of Melissa, who used to be a high-powered lawyer, finds herself no longer housed on the streets. What did you want to say about that? She's trying to rebuild this relationship with her family.
Well, I'm so glad you asked me about that. There's two things. First of all, the book is also about three women who start out as best friends. They call themselves the three amigas at a law firm. And, Toronto's become a hard city. And one is successful. One, my main character, Nancy, is kind of in the middle. And then one falls off, downfall. She just doesn't make it. She ends up on the street wearing all her Paris fashions that she once had. And that's the reality. It's not easy. And I think COVID's made people realize how tough things can be. It's kind of become Canadians are at a breaking point. We want to become like Americans and have guarded communities and people living on the street, or do we want to have a humane society? And we do want to have a humane society, but how are we going to get there? And it's not easy, but it's not. We don't want to be looking away. And also, no one really talks about the families that are left behind. I dealt with a lot of grandparents who are raising grandchildren, because their parents, the mother or the father has become a drug addict. And there's a lot of resentment too about the homelessness. I don't have a simple solution. I just know it's an important thing for us to worry about and to live with,
Yeah, one of the things that has been exposed is that, this is known. We haven't had a national housing strategy in this country for 40 years. And I don't know that that's going to change anytime soon. Just before you leave, I want to hear the perspective of a man that you know well, both through your work as a criminal lawyer. His name is Jesse. What did he teach you?
Well, Jesse, who now told me I can say his name is James, he wants his last name. I've known him since he was 12 years old. He's now 42. And the other day, actually, there he is. He was in my office. It was the first day that he no longer has criminal charges. And for the first time, he has his own apartment. It's in a guarded place. There's
Mm.
social workers there. But when I say to him, "You going to be able to make it there, James?" He says, "I don't know. It's tough to be alone." Um, but he's taught me a lot. He's also a brilliant reader. He's a genius. He reads everything. And when I'm writing my books, like when I was writing this book, I had him read passages to me about homeless shelters, and I had him correct things for me because he was one of my, just like I use homicide detectives and doctors, I used him to help me write the
Mhm.
book, to make it real. And I think that's what really, really counts. And I think that's what readers really respond to.
Yeah, and obviously they've responded really well again with it being #1 in Canadian mystery novels on Amazon Canada, which you can also pick up at your small local bookstore. The title of the book is Downfall. Robert Rotenberg, great to speak with you today.
So far, so good. Thanks so much. Be safe.